you so much, Kelly. And thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. We have got an incredible lineup of speakers. And first up to open up our session today is Sambo Patrick. Sambo Patrick is one of Australia's leading natural hormone experts. She has 5 published books on hormones, with 2 being bestsellers. She appears on national TV regularly, in printed media, and has her own podcast, Hop Into Health. For over 18 years, she has been assisting women understand their hormones and treatment options through foods, lifestyle, and managing thoughts. Sam runs retreats in Byron and Bali to corporate women who need time off in the merry-go-round, and is available, I think you mean the merry-go-round of life, and is available for corporate speaking. So please welcome Sambo Patrick.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good to have you here, mate.
Thanks so much, Mel.
We've had our journey goes way back, I think, to 2010, 2000 and...
Quite possibly. It just feels like a lifetime that I've known you, and what I adore about you is your the word authentic is such a real buzz, but you are just such a beautiful person and human, and you've done a lot for me in my personal journey and also in business. So I'm always, indebted and in love to you.
Thank you. I take it. Lovely. Thank you. So tell us, Sam, what led you to become an expert in women's hormones?
Yes, well, women's hormones, when I started nursing years ago down at the Royal Hobart Hospital, and back in 1987, I'm actually 85. I have to wear glasses now because I'm going slightly blind. No, I started in 1987 as a very fresh, wanted to change the world, help people with their health. Interesting, I knew from the age of 10 what I wanted to do with my life, and that's been one of those, I think that's been the strength in myself, because life throws curveballs. So nursing was a stepping stone. I didn't realise it at the time. I loved helping people, sitting on bedsides and just holding someone's hand as they passed on to another life, or helping them with a really challenging or what would feel at oftentimes very compromised situations. And nursing still to this day is very dear to my heart. Throughout that time though, Mel, I saw lots of you're very much part of a medical institution in that environment, and the main modalities of treatment are surgical and pharmaceutical. Anything outside of that, which nurses generally will scoop up, or physios or whoever's touching the person, is kind of not considered part of the overall pattern or treatment plan. Yet I found it imperative to people's success was how much contact or validation or opportunity to talk or opportunity to improve their nutrition was. So I started very young, understanding that there was more to health than just outcomes. There was the journey in between. We studied endocrinology, which is the study of hormones, and we'd get there into these blocks because I was hospital trained. So we'd do 6 weeks on the ward and 6 weeks in classroom, and we would sit there when endocrine would come up and just fall asleep. Sometimes because we'd been partying the night before, but usually because hormones were really boring. Then I went to pharmaceuticals, and then I started a clinic in 2002 because I'd always loved food as a nutritionist and naturopath. Interesting, in about 2004, I was married and had 2 kids, and I had 5 staff. And I was going to be I had this great dream to integrate health for Australians. And I wanted to have clinics around the country where doctors, naturopaths, chiropractors, masseuses, bone therapists, we all worked together, and we focused on the person, and we gave them a menu of opportunities, healing modalities, and also gave them a choice, and didn't denigrate each other, but understood that everyone had different healing qualities and skills. So that's kind of the green eye thing that I went out with. So 2004, so this is such a long answer to such a short question.
You're sharing how you got into the industry, which is really interesting, and I think it's key that people understand too that you have been an intensive care nurse, and you've been on both sides of the health sector.
Yeah, and I also worked in pharmaceuticals for 9 years and loved that side of the industry. I loved working in the pharma side, where I was one of Australia's top gun pharma reps, and I'd travel overseas and bring new drugs vaccines back to the country. So when people jump onto my Facebook page and follow me and I've got something to say about vaccines, it's from knowledge, not from being, ignorant and making commentary without actually understanding what's going on. So yes, in 2004, I had this really huge brief for myself, which was to not rescue Australians, but to inform them. I really, and still am, very passionate about education and choice and people doing what's right for them based on knowledge. So 2004, 2 kids, one was 10 months. Have you heard this story about the dinner party?
Yes.
Do you think I should share it or not? Should I hold it? Because this is actually how I found out about hormones, actually.
It's the truth, Sam. It's the truth. So share it, of course.
Yeah. So, I'm someone who's trained at university, who's done endocrinology, who did pharmaceuticals, have a mini pharmacology diploma. I understand biochemistry, I understand hormones. In intensive care, that's all we used to do. We used to really push people's hormones up or suppress them. That's all we did. And it wasn't really pitched that way. I didn't see the world through hormones until 2004. It was December the 16th, and we hosted a dinner party, and I had, all my best friends around with their husbands, and I was married at the time, and it was a Friday night. It was just before Christmas, so, Santa theme, and I was pouring champagne and all the rest of it. And I think a lot of women relate to this story. And what happened was this. I had this amazing dinner party. I had one of those Women's Day cookbooks, dining for 1,800 people, whatever. And I was pitching big. I had a ham, I had a turkey. I hadn't cooked either before. I had things bubbling away. It was a hot, Queensland sweltery sort of evening. And I was in the kitchen up to my elbows, literally stuffing this turkey. And I have to pause when I reflect on this moment, so I don't reflect on it every day, but it was definitely one of those sliding door moments of my life that changed not only the course of my personal life, but also my career. So I was basting a turkey, which means hand down turkey, shoving apricots and God knows what else into it. So it's going to be the best turkey ever made. And my 10-month-old came out into the kitchen on all fours. She was 10 months old, and she'd done one of those, this is the flashback, one of those really big nappies that smell, and they gravitate up floors, like probably 10 floors high. People could smell what was coming out of that nappy. And my hand was down a turkey, so I really couldn't do a great deal about it. So we had those bifold things in the kitchen, and I flung them, well, they were already open actually, letting breeze in, and I kind of cooeyed out to my ex-husband. And I just said, yo, can you come and change Maisie's nappy? And he turned around in front of all our friends with me in the kitchen, working up a sweat, making a meal a feast, really. He turned around and said no. Now, I don't know, that women are going to be watching this. Men will probably watch this as well, Mel. There's times in your life when you need someone to grab your back. And that was definitely one of those moments. It, at the time, didn't seem like a massive moment. I just need someone to change the baby's nappy, basically. But when he came back with a no, it was like this sense of rage went up. And I can't tell you, it didn't go, oh, I'm getting a little bit angry here or peeved. It was like, what the? And if my hand wasn't down the turkey, I would have got the steak knives, and they were big ones, and they were engagement present. I would have tossed them out that window, and I can tell you, I would have got him between the eyes. I'm always a little bit nervous telling the story in case something ever happens to him, but I was angry, and it was a feeling like I've never had before. It scared me. It scared me a lot because it was a rage. So from that, no was the answer, pulled the hand out, changed the nappy, came back in, and then 2 of the male friends came in from outside, and they said, Sammy, when you talk like that, you sound like an absolute, or biatch, as we like to say. You sound like an absolute biatch. I was mortified that I always thought I was, that caring, compassionate, beautiful, doing my best sort of girl, was ever seen in anyone else's eyes as less than that. It stripped away a lot of confidence, and 8 days later, I left the relationship. I was mortified. So I left a marriage. We didn't really fight. It wasn't fabulous, but it wasn't, on the rocks. But I left, and I was very confused. From that point, I'd had got 4 degrees. postmasters, blah, blah, blah. I had no answers, and that was the confusing bit. I was like, how did I get that feeling? And I never want it again, ever. So I went to doctors, I went to chiropractors, crystal healers, I went to everybody, and no one had an answer for me that really satisfied me. So I started asking my staff and all these people we had coming into the clinic, did they ever feel angry? And it was interesting. A couple of things happened. So we had, and I still have one of, incredible database of people I can ask questions from. And one of them is, do you feel angry? And women rarely say they feel angry. They will when they know it's safe, but they'll often say, oh no, I get pissed off, I get irritated, I get short-tempered, I can't stand it when, but rarely do they confess to rage or anger. So given a safe opportunity to say that, women started to tell me that they felt the same as I was feeling. I thought, wow, this is interesting, because I went to Google, I went to the books, I went to PubMed, I went to all the accredited research papers, and there was very, very little about angry women. What I did find was that angry women end up in jail, and that was the only research paper by a guy called Professor Dabbs, and he'd studied female inmates who had high testosterone. So suddenly I had this sniff of a clue to follow about high testosterone, because no one had suggested to me along that whole journey that it could be testosterone, which is a female hormone. So then I tested my own levels on saliva testing. It's the only way to measure them. And mine was through the roof. Then I started testing other women, and theirs was through the roof. And what I discovered is that women, and I've written a book around this, Beauty and the Beast Within, which has become one of those iconic books which has changed the way we think about women and hormones. And what I discovered is that working women are prone to high testosterone. It's a male hormone, we have it, but ours goes up. Women who are going through struggle or in survival mode boost their testosterone up. Women who are in competition or competitive, so female athletes, boost their testosterone up. Women who are eating a high carbohydrate diet, alcohol, potatoes, rice, pastas, push their testosterone up. And women who work alongside men as an adaptive process push their male hormone testosterone up. And whilst it's a really cool hormone, it can have its traps. And so from that was like 2004, probably 2005. I wrote the book in 2009. It became a bestseller. Yeah, been on telly a lot, interviewed a lot about it still to this day. And I talk about lots of other hormones. It's not the only one. But it, for me, is still fascinating. There's still very little documented about testosterone levels in women. Very long answer.
No, but so relevant. And I think you're going to give a lot of women actually some peace of mind to know that they're not crazy. They haven't lost their mind, and that there actually is a solution, and there's a reason why they have got that rage, that even if they think, oh, my life is actually going really well, but just something happens with a child or, our partner, and it just triggers us, and it's all of a sudden, well, where did that happen? Sometimes we just put it down to tiredness, but it can also be other things that we can't see or recognise, which is our hormones.
Yeah, hormones are, for me, now I see the world through, hormone goggles. And since I have, it presents so many solutions. And the good thing about it, rather than shopping at medical clinics where you're told there's nothing we can do for your hormones, or you need this pill because you're broken, it's actually, now I can see what I'm doing and saying yes or not saying no to. That's what creates hormone imbalances. And anger, rage, irritability, being pissed off, being tired, fatigued, gaining weight, not being able to lose weight, skin problems, insomnia, all those things are hormone imbalances. And the more we understand as women our hormones, the more we can take control of it, because it's usually what's happening out here. And that is awesome news, because we can control a lot of out here, even though at times we feel we can't.
So if we've got health issues, they could be hormone imbalance. So then how do we get our hormones back in balance? Yeah,
so you need to understand, well, I believe hormones are not very well managed by medicine. So to shop in medical shopping centres, trying to get a hormone result, what will happen is you'll go to the concierge of the shopping centre called medicine, and they'll say, oh, what's your problem? Oh, I'm flushing and I can't lose weight. Oh, you can take a queue over there at the menopause aisle. You'll go and see the menopause retail shop, and they'll say, oh, you're broken, you need HRT. Or some of them are like, oh, we do it a bit more naturally next door, but you're still broken, we'll give you bioidentical hormones. Whereas I'm not even in that shopping complex. I'm across the road and I'm saying, hey, if you're experiencing any symptom that doesn't feel right, you need to actually address your mindset, what foods you're eating, how much rest your body is getting, and learn about your body and hormones. They're not a mystery. There's a lot out there. I post a lot, other people post a lot, and understand that you can actually directly impact on them, sometimes within seconds. So I love it. Like it's true empowerment. Like it's really cool.
Tell us about the green light activities that we should be doing as a woman to balance our hormones, because I absolutely love that, and I hope the men are watching today. If not, share it with them in Messenger, because I do catch myself sometimes saying, "Can you take out the rubbish?" I tell my sons to take out the rubbish, and it's not because I do take out the rubbish, but just not all the time. But I want you to share just something that I've heard you say in some of your talks about how our hormone testosterone levels are raising up by doing these male-dominated things, which is a very challenging thing if you're a single mum, which you know as Sam. But then there's some green light activities we should be doing to counteract that.
Yeah, so testosterone in women. So I want ladies to understand, everyone makes a plethora of hormones. There's all sorts of them. There's adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, cortisol, insulin, leptin. They're all hormones. What hormones do, I see them like the body's internal postal service. They take a message from one part of your body down to another part of your body. And the body's so amazing. What it does is it feeds back that it got the post. Goes, yeah, thanks, got that. And that's called biofeedback. Now, if this particular responsive, the post is going down to the South Pole, but the South Pole's shut shop, then it'll get no receipt saying got the message. So it'll send down more. So guys, are you sleeping down there? And we can measure those hormones. They change. Sometimes there's something going on at the recipient gland or organ, which might be the heart or the thyroid, and it has shut up shop. It's so stressed, it's closed all the windows, not answering the door, it can't do it anymore. So to keep sending down more, or even using a synthetic drug to do that, is not the answer. What we need to understand is what's happening in which part of the body. So when I help women, I often talk about testosterone, and we'll come back to the green lights, estrogen, progesterone, stress hormone, cortisol, and insulin. So typically what I'm finding is people are getting quite run down and doing little businesses on the side, or not appreciating that being a mum is a full-time job. It's a full-time job. It doesn't matter if the children are it does matter a lot more when they're little, because they kind of put their hand up wanting more attention. They're still, as they get older, I can tell you, they still have my mental attention, even though my kids are at school today. So as a mum, we've got this capability, which apparently is meant to be amazing multi-skilling. What it can do is fragment us, because if we're trying to also run a business, which totally different hormone state, being a mum is an estrogen nurturing based role. Being a businesswoman is a testosterone, get out of my face, I've got KPIs, I've got a budget, and this is the way it's going to roll. These hormones are in opposition. Testosterone, as a woman, it makes us quite, excuse the term, ballsy, because it's a male hormone. It is a very sort of hormone.
Aggressive?
Yeah.
I think my partner said to me, "Why are you talking to me like that?" And he will say back to me the way that I sounded, which is, aggressive and forceful, and I don't even realise I'm doing it. And it's obviously because my testosterone levels are high.
Plus we want a result. We don't have time. Like, time's finite. A lot of it, time can be such a curse because we pressurise ourselves into these deadlines. And in my latest book, Chill Out or Burnout, I talk about adrenal fatigue, and I believe time is one of, I call it, women have a real distortion of time compared to blokes. Blokes will factor in about 12 to 18 hours a day of stuff to do. The other 6, well, they're not concerned because they only can focus on one thing. Ladies, on the other hand, seem to have this dysfunctional malfunction gift where we cram 30 hours into 24 and wonder why we've got no energy or desire for sex at the end of the day. But yes, I can tell when a woman's got high testosterone, because as soon as I get the text or the emails, there's no, how are you today? There's no fluff. They're like, they're almost rude, like bordering on rude. And I'm starting to go, oh, it's like, God, just chill out. You're not saving the world. Don't be so rude. Like, it's very clipped, it's very direct, and it's facial animation. The vibe is very up. There's no need for us to be like that. We can get as much done. Like, look at Jacinda Ardern. Like, she's very feminine, and she's executing one of the most amazing recovery efforts on all time. And she's a female leader. She's someone who probably has high testosterone, but brings it down at the end of the day. And I suspect she does lots of green lights, which isn't putting out the green rubbish. So with testosterone, it's our fight hormone. It's like our business hormone. It's our business hat. If we don't take that off and we go into our everyday life, we keep that KPI hat on. We want to do gym. We want to do high impact exercise. And that's fabulous if you're single and you're hanging out with the boys. If you want to hang out with girls that have babies, you need to step into the other hormone state, which is not high estrogen, balanced estrogen. That's our nurture. Come here. It's okay. I'm here with you right now. I'm present. I'm loving you. It's okay. It's also our oxytocin state. Now, oxytocin is a hormone that we produce from the pituitary gland when we're breastfeeding. And it's a hormone that helps us bond with this baby that's, sometimes biting our boob and making us sleep and making mess in the middle of the night. And, how could you love this thing? But we do, because we release this chemical, this hormone called oxytocin. Without it, babies, I don't think, would last more than probably 3 weeks. So we release this hormone that makes us want to connect and love. It is the opposite hormone to testosterone. So the key to all of this is when we're coming from high testosterone states, and any working woman, any woman who's working will have high testosterone states, we need to take that hat off and put on our girl hat, which is why I didn't dress in a business suit, because now what I try and do more and more often is dress more, Laura Ashley kind of airy-fairy, because my default is actually a high testosterone state. And I've had struggles trying to get into my feminine state and not be so results driven.
Is that because the pressure you have as a single parent, Sam?
No, it's probably because I've been a sports person.
Right.
The goalposts are really clear. I played top level sport for ages, and it was pretty clear. You shot a goal in the back of the net, and that was considered success. And that's what all the training and all the off the ball stuff was about, was game time. Whereas now it's actually about the journey, not the goals in the back of the net. And so that's the difference between estrogen and testosterone. And in business, we can rate ourselves, and we can be so hard. We'll rate ourselves on how much money we pulled in, how many leads we had, how many clients we converted, and all these KPIs, which for women, there are some who are obviously more bent that way, isn't going to suit us in our personal lives. And it also switches off fertility. It switches off men. It leads to situations. So high testosterone is not just the mood stuff and the aggression. Endometriosis, a condition called polycystic ovary syndrome, because testosterone competes with insulin. So we make cysts on our ovaries. We also make belly fat. We get acne. We get whiskers, which are still, it's interesting. If I have a man day, I can grow a lot of whiskers. I hope no men listen to this. But, certainly when I have a more chilled, relaxed, airy-fairy day, oxytocin day, no whiskers. So it's that instant. The green light activities, which I've coined, are around tricking yourself or shuffling the feet between high testosterone and high oxytocin, because they're opposite hormones. So oxytocin are things, so testosterone, pretty sure most girls on here could do it. If I gave them a plan or a budget and told them they had an hour to sort it out, they'd do it. But they'd be doing it not in an oxytocin mind, in a testosterone execution, fight or flight response. To bring that down, we have to do activities that raise dopamine and oxytocin, and I call them green light activities. So they're things where we just lose track of time and there's no real outcome. We're just kind of participating in the moment. It varies for different people. When I was traveling around Australia, I used to do talks for corporate talks, and I'd have men's groups and girls groups. We'd do the chit chat. Guys would, and I had a traffic light system, so there'd be red light, amber, and green. And guys told me what their red lights were: house cleaning, ironing, talking to my wife, family time. Like I used to sit there go, Very funny. Girls had almost we're very different biologically. Girls would say some of the red light activities with sex. I'd be saying, no, girls, let's make that green or at least amber. So green light activities raise oxytocin and they bring down testosterone almost within seconds. And considering that high testosterone states are the number one reason why girls in this country are not falling pregnant in first world countries, it's 75% of the reason why women cannot have babies. Why not give someone a hug and you'll drop your testosterone instantly, like within seconds. And it's not a huge secret. I'd love it if every woman on here who listens to this, and guys, spread the word, get your oxytocin up. So it might be scrapbooking. It might be honouring yourself in a space like this. It might be getting a massage. It might be, I don't know, I do art, bushwalking, swimming, reading a book. They're all oxytocin generating activities. They don't need to involve another human.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Sam. I loved having you on the summit and sharing all your knowledge and expertise with the women today. And, you know, for everyone out there watching, go and give someone a hug because it costs absolutely nothing. And if that's going to, you know, when we're stressed, we often do say, oh, I just need a hug. And I heard somewhere that women need a hug every day, don't they?
Oh, look, I'll bank them up. I'd be going for 20, 30. You know, 20 or 30, not, you know, like go for it. Some people don't like being hugged, that's fair enough, but those who do, just squeeze away.
Yes, so we're sending you all a big hug from everybody here today at the summit. So thanks again, Sam. And if you want to know more about Sam Pope-Patrick and her services and retreats that she offers, where can they find out more information about you?
If they're social media people, it's Sambo Patrick, the Health Queen. That's the Facebook. Insta, it's not oxytocin generating for me, so my website's the other place, sambopatrick.com.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Ciao.
See you later.